Okay, let us begin. So, welcome to Tunderfold. This is Foundry Virtual Tabletop. This is the main world that you are seeing in front of you. You will be starting in Goshal. This story begins
Okay.
as many stories begins with death. You have all been summoned / received an invitation to the funeral of Arch Curator Tobias Aurelian. He was somebody who you, through various things, decided to help. He would pay you for work, you would gain a benefit from him, you would study under him, you would usually probably do some form of work. It's either fetching some object because he was busy dealing with bureaucracy or whatever, or it was defending some artifact from bandits or whatever. There's a lot of reasons that a man of his stature could hire various mercenaries like yourselves, but in the end, you became friends with him, or as close as friends as you can be, given the various vast difference of your career and status within society. For some reason, though, he saw it fit to invite you to his funeral. Very odd request, considering he's dead, one, but two, somehow you got an invitation specifically from him. For one reason or another, you all decided to go. And, well, this is where our story begins at the funeral. The funeral of Arch Curator Tobias Erlin is a solemn and dignified affair, befitting of a person whose life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. The service was held in a grand cathedral, its high ceilings and stained glass windows casting a warm glow over the mourners gathered within. The casket, made of polished mahogany and adorned with intricate carvings, lay at the front of the cathedral, surrounded by a sea of flowers. The mourners, dressed in somber black, were seated in pews on either side of the aisle, their heads bowed in silent respect for the departed scholar. The service began with a solemn hymn, sung by a choir of voices, that filled the cathedral with a sense of reverence and awe. A eulogy is being delivered by a distinguished colleague of the scholar, who spoke of the scholar's many achievements and contributions to the academic world, as well as their personal qualities of kindness, wisdom, and generosity. After the eulogy, a moment of silence is observed, during which the mourners were invited to pay their respects to the departed scholar. Many approached the casket to place a flower or a note of remembrance, while others simply stood quiet in contemplation. The service concluded with a final hymn, and the casket is carried out of the cathedral by a group of solemn pallbearers. As the mourners filed out of the cathedral, they were greeted by a beautiful sunset, its warm colors and gentle breeze providing a sense of peace and closure to the occasion. On the back of your invitation, and actually on the back of your specific bulletins, as you were handed a specific bulletin at the door, since each person was asked their name, was a second invitation. This one to the final will reading of Tobias. It seems as if you were given a portion of his inheritance, for lack of a better word, and were invited to the academy that is hosted in the city. So, with that,
I go to the academy or wherever I was told to go.
the academy. Nestled within the sprawling city of winding streets, the illustrious academy stands as a beacon of intellectual pursuits. Its walls, clad in ancient stones and etched with symbols of ancient history, loom high above the surrounding buildings, casting a formidable shadow across the cobblestones below. Within the Academy's hallowed halls, students of various races and backgrounds gather to explore the mysteries of the past and engineering of the future. Scholars and sages from all corners of the realm converge here to share their knowledge and wisdom, lending their expertise to the Academy's vast library and laboratories, as well as a chance to meet the now late Arch Curator. At the heart of the Academy lies a great hall, a vast chamber of polished marble and soaring arches. Here, the most prestigious lectures and debates are held, and the great minds of the realm gather to discuss the cutting edges of research and discovery. However, this is not where you are going. Beyond the great hall lies countless chambers and classrooms, each dedicated to a different discipline of academic pursuit. From the alchemical laboratories where potent elixirs are brewed to the sprawling libraries where ancient tomes and scrolls are studied, the Academy is a veritable treasure trove of knowledge and wisdom. You are summoned to a specific room, specifically Curator Room B7. There, you find a man. Here you see a large, as you see, a room. In it is seated, at a larger table is seated a man. He is old he's sort of wizened with age. He's got a white beard and white hair. He looks kind of like what you would see there. If you have a mouse, you can scroll wheel in. I don't know if the trackpad will do the same if you do the standard scroll with the trackpad. However, presumably the first person in, because he knows his way around, is a kindred. A kindred of shorter stature. He has brown hair, red sort of tunic, and ears and hair that look rather hedgehog-like. It's a rather interesting fellow. Alex, do you have anything your character would do upon entering the room?
Do I know the man who is sitting at the table?
That man
Have
is
I seen him
Professor
before?
Warshower. He is
Professor Warsh.
he was the closest to one of the friends of well, everyone says that he is Tobias curator's friend or Tobias's friend. He would vehemently disagree. However, everyone knows that he's just got a sort of rugged and grumpy out thing that he puts out. He's actually really gentle person, but he just you know
Mm-hmm.
yeah, get out of
Yeah.
my office. Meh. But he actually really cares.
Is there a proper way to greet someone, a fellow academic?
Not there's not like a particular there's no secret handshake or anything. Just, do you address them by their title, which in this case would be professor.
Is this evening or morning?
This is it's still evening.
Good evening, Professor.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jason. There should be 3 more coming, I think. I don't know. I've got 4 names. Yours is on here. Not sure entirely why he asked it. Well, I do know why. It's written in front of me, but I don't.
I was actually going to ask you if you had any clue why I was invited.
Yeah, but I don't want to repeat myself 4 times, so we'll just wait till the others show up, assuming they do. And around this point,
Fair enough.
a tall female comes striding in, almost with a spring in her step. This is a Taurian female, one of the descendants from the giants. She is got a charming personality and a charming face. Very just she walks into the room and you know she's there. And
Nice.
yeah, she bounces in and you're
By giant, how tall?
oh, I'd say she's about 7.5 feet, maybe almost 8 foot.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Wow.
Taurian are descended from giants, so or at least that's what they claim. And no one sees fit to dispute them because they oftentimes will challenge you to an arm wrestling competition and then proceed to slam your arm through the table, which generally unpleasant, let me tell you. I know from personal experience. So, Kirith, I know you're muted, but you can, yeah. How would you like to address the individual? He looks up and goes, "Ah, you're oh yeah, you're Coraline. All right, come on in, get it, have a seat somewhere." I know that you're holding a baby, so should I just move you to a seat? Okay, she moves in. Bloop. Do. And a few minutes later, I'm just gonna have these two come in at the same time. Another kindred, this one having ears and eyes of a wolf, walks in, and a human who you actually don't have a good description for your character, Daniel. So if you want, I just
my bad.
kind of came up with something. I'm assuming he's wearing a cloak, dressed in some armor, but he's on the town, so he's not necessarily fully kitted out for fighting. Anyway, so yeah, a human and a kindred walk into a study hall, and this is not the beginning of a bad joke, I swear. So, yeah, he looks up and goes, "Oh, wow, I wasn't actually expecting all 4 to show up. All right, have a seat. She kind of gestures.
I think.
Whoa, there we go.
Did I?
Hey, perfect.
That's delay. Okay.
And then, yep, there we go. We are all able to. Hi.
Why am I rotating?
It's approaching his bedtime. He is he's a little feisty. That's okay. So he calls you over, and when you sit down, he's like, "All right, this is the last part of his will. The majority of his stuff has already been dealt with, but for whatever reason, he decided to have this last part wait till you show up because you weren't involved with any of the rest of it. So," and he pulls out a piece of paper, slaps it down, and goes, "I, Tobias, Arian, being of sound mind, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, moving on. All right, I bequeath each of you the last portion of the remaining funds within my particular estate. It amounts to blah, 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 amount. I'm not giving you a specific number because the way we handle wealth in this game is not like D&D where you just have a set number and you buy things off of that. One, that means I would have to find and make a price for every single item you possibly would want to buy. And I don't want to have to deal with that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to call it a wealth level. You are starting with a wealth level of 1. If you want to buy something, if it is at your wealth level, you make a contacts roll. And if you make it successfully, you can find it. If you want to buy something above your wealth level, then you have to make more difficult contacts rolls. And even then, you might not necessarily be able to buy it. If there's something that is below your wealth level, then you can just buy it straight up. Like you don't have to make any rolls. So if you have a wealth level of 1, getting a room at the inn is a wealth level 0. You can get it. We assume you can find an inn. This, unless there is plot reasons for you not to, in which case, hey, it's plot, it's story. There's a reason why I picked this system and not D&D. So he gives you an amount that will basically be a temporary +1 to your wealth level. So you can spend an extra. You can buy something of wealth level 2 or lower once. So that's what this is about. However, he says, this, however, has a stipulation attached. You will receive the funds after you have done one last task for him, because I know Tobias, he always adds stipulations like that. He's a nice guy. He just, a bleeding heart. Eliza. And at this point, a girl who was off to the side reading a book walks down. Whoa, I threw myself over there. Walks down the stairs and comes around to meet you. The girl, Eliza, is a striking figure at 15 years old. She has an air of quiet confidence that is rare for someone her age. Her features are delicate yet sharp, with piercing green eyes that seem to see right through you. She comes down the stairs and she gives you a very polite curtsy. Says, I am Eliza, Dawnflower. Nice to meet you. Eliza has her home on the other side of Goshal. Tobias wants you to escort her, and if you do so willingly, he will give you. I am to provide you with the funds. So, yeah. Do y'all accept?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
yeah, why not, man?
Sure.
Oh, hold on. That's right. He wanted me to read this specifically to you. He shuffles through some more papers, pulls one out. It's like, Eliza is a kind individual who has helped me through all of my particular troubles. She also is someone who she is someone who has wanted to return to her home on the other side of the continent for a while. However, due to various circumstances, has been unable to. I have chosen each of you potentially to do this for various reasons. Some of you seek knowledge, and I know that the journey would be beneficial to you in such a pursuit. Others have various. Sorry, I should have been better prepared for this. Others of you have various goals that you seek, and I suspect that in taking this journey, you will find, if not what you are looking for, the path to finding what you're looking for. This journey itself is not going to be easy. However, I suspect that by the end of it, you will come out the other side not just better, but happier, and knowing what you're looking for, which is the only thing that any of us can really ask for. My friends, I do not hold you to this. However, I would not have chosen you if I did not think that you would gain the most from it. Take care, and please take care of her if you accept this task. Signed, Arch Curator Tobias, friend and benefactor, blah, 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 blah. Why does he have to go on and on, I swear? Slams down the paper. All right, who's in? Coraline raises her hand. You can't hear her because her microphone is muted. We have to find a better system.
Yeah.
I might need to do this upstairs.
I'm in. If Tobias, if Mr. Tobias
Yeah, why
thought
not,
that
man?
I would be able to do this, I'll do it.
All right. Beautiful. I am keeping a quest log. It is in the journal section of your game area. It's in the upper right
Okay.
corner. So if you ever forget what you're doing, I have been writing these out, hopefully ahead of time, so that you'll know what's going on.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome.
So that will hopefully help, depending on how often we play. But with that, Orshire says, "That's everything. All right." Here he jots down some notorieties and hands one to each of you, so you have proof that you have accepted not only the mission in question, but that you can cash in on the money that you would receive from from completing it. And with that, he goes, "All right, you know how to find your way out," and proceeds to basically just leave, leaving you
Nice.
alone with Eliza, who just kind of stands there looking around and goes, "Well, he didn't really think this through, did he?" Walks over and pulls out a map. And now I'm going to go to activate this scene. And this probably is not visible to you all. Yep, okay, hold on.
How does this guy know us?
How does Tobias know you?
Yeah.
You probably did something for him in the past. I didn't figure that out specifically. But each of you did a thing for him. Did you all get kicked out?
Tobias is a merchant. Who is Tobias again? He's like a curator, right?
He's the Arch
He's
Curator.
basically our Nick Fury.
You say he's like Nick Fury, but you have to realize Nick Fury can actually hold himself in a fight and is competent. This guy is sort of like the head librarian / museum owner / dean of the academy / Indiana Jones, but with less action / all of this stuff. This guy,
He's the most
one that
respected
died?
scholar in the
Is that
country.
right?
yeah, this guy is the most. This Tobias character who died is the most respected scholar in the country, which is an accurate statement. He also, because of his stature, had a lot of political influence and all kinds of things, and he would basically just completely bypass the majority of rules to hire people for jobs, because he's like, "I need this artifact. You are a mercenary. I have money and a problem." And so, yeah, he basically did that with you at some point. And just through your relationship, or through that working relationship, you eventually you each individually developed a working relationship with him, though that also was somewhat very business. It's not necessarily a deep friendship, although some of you might have developed a deep friendship just because of your personalities. Other of you probably just, were like, "All right, you do work for me. You're good on your word. I'm good on my word. Cool." Now, hopefully you all now see a much smaller, I say much smaller, it's probably a larger map, but it's smaller in scale. On the far
Yes.
right
I see
side,
a very black screen.
you see a black screen. Come on,
Still not showing up.
okay. Well,
Daniel sent me a picture of what we're looking at though, so I think we
Okay.
can continue.
Okay. So on the far right of Goshal, there is a blue dot on a river. Trying to ping, but it's hard to see. It's by the town you're in, which is called Vacoma. It's on the river. On the far left side, in the dominion of Ailun, is a yellow dot. That is where you've got to go.
Okay.
Okay. That.
See? You have to span an entire country.
Uh.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
So,
Is there a way to make these stop?
Is there? And I'm kind of regretting my choice.
what?
I'm kind of
Well.
regretting my choice of saying yes to this girl.
But it's fun.
Mhm.
What is the name of the girl that we're supposed to be escorting?
Eliza.
Eliza. When did you say? When did you get here? How long have you been in Valcoma?
10 years.
10 years. And you're 15 years old?
Yep.
So do you remember anything except for the city?
I vaguely remember my old home. It's
Okay.
I could see it. I I I couldn't draw it, but that's only because I can't draw.
Fair enough. I'm not that good at drawing either. Okay, when does this need to be completed? When do we need to leave?
Preferably as soon as possible. There is some she pauses and thinks very hard about what she's trying to say. And then she says, "There have been some developments in my family life that require me to return to my family home."
Okay then.
This
Mm,
so just so you all know, I actually did some research. No matter how you cut it, this should take you about 2 months of traveling, which is a lot.
Lovely.
Do I know that?
Eh, you
Can I roll
might.
to see if I
You
know
could
that?
try to roll to see that. I guess that would be a.
What
I don't
what would I
know.
roll?
I guess. Well, I mean, you could try scholarship because, like, you could be recalling from your reading, like you read stories and you read like travelogues and biographies and things like that. You might be able to figure something out. Excuse you, sir.
Okay. I just rolled. Can you see that?
Yes. 3. Yes. You know it's going to take about 2 months. You also know
Okay.
that you might be able to shave off some of that time if you take the river down to Balumbaith, which is because you're on a river right now. The city is on a river.
Mhm.
And if you go down, you can see there's a town, right? Why won't you ping phone universe? There we go. There's a town right there. And that river will shave off some travel time from going over land. But no matter how you cut it, you're still going to have to go over some land. And you can't just take rivers all the way.
Okay, so it seems like the best way for us to get to there is going to be to take this river down to what city again?
Balumbaith, which is right. I'm trying to ping, but it doesn't really show. So let me
Right about.
grab a token, make a token. We'll use the Eliza token.
Okay.
And so it goes to here, right? Following the river down to there.
Okay.
But after that, you have a couple options on how you want to go, right?
Mm-hmm. So it seems like our best option is going to be to take this river down and then trek through the grassland to Bombay, then trek through the grasslands up to basically just continue our trek up to. That is the case. I'm sorry. We haven't even properly met, I don't think. My name is Jason. And I
Taryn
look to
kind
the other people.
you see Taryn kind of notice that you're trying to talk to him. He's like, okay. He kind of gets awkward and tenses up a little bit at the thought, but he looks to Eliza and is like, hello, Taryn. Your name was? He's very socially awkward and in his own head about things.
Eliza looks at him for a moment and then gives a big, broad smile and goes, "Hi, Taryn, I'm Eliza," and curtsies to you. Just being very careful to not stare at you too intensely, but to you get this general sense that she's actually not that bad at of a person. She's really actually just kind of kind, and she almost puts you at ease. Not fully, but almost.
Yeah, the whole weird little interaction. You're kind of seeing him scratch at this little thing that he's not really showing you at the like on the inside of his palm. But like that fidgeting that he's doing slowly starts to. It didn't do.
What is your name?
Antheon.
Antheon.
Yes.
And how? Uh, your name? To the Torsion.
She says it's Coraline, but she's muted because I will double sound if she unmutes.
See, Coraline, Antheon, Taryn, and Eliza. It seems like we should learn as to what we're actually capable of so that we know what we need this trip that we've all signed on to. So
Sure.
I'm a scholar. I am not I've done a little bit of traveling in my life, but not a lot. And I don't have I find it hard to see why I was specifically chosen for this task. But I believe the curator is wise, was wise, is wise, and chose me, believes that I would be able to help this. What can we do? What are we able to do? Would it be helpful to hire someone to guide us to this place, or is this something that we are capable of doing ourselves?
Well, that's a good question, man. I've traveled all over, so I can probably help. I'm not sure how travel ready I might seem, but
Okay, well,
pretty good. My
we have some.
contacts are pretty good. Like I can probably, if you need somebody, I can probably get you somebody.
I have survival skills. Well, some. They're fairly good.
Yeah, my survival is also good. So we probably could work together. We don't need anybody else. I've learned
Okay.
that the more people you have, just the more trouble you're going to get into. So just
Taryn is obviously sort of the "what are you good at" sort of question. He kind of is getting more and more restless, and it's like, I
so
would rather not have to share that. But let's just say, should we run into trouble? It won't be trouble.
Okay, appropriately vague, and slightly frightening, but very good, very good. So the next thing on our agenda would be supplies, correct? If this needs to happen quickly, we ought to be moving quickly.
Well,
Yes.
considering was it Antheon or Coraline that said she'd been all over?
Antheon.
Antheon, gotcha. What is Coraline's specialty and what she good at?
I've done some. I've got some survival skills, but I've mostly done bison herding. So that's
Okay.
I know I'm good with animals. Say that.
Okay, good. So good with animals. After we get dropped off in What's the city that we're going to down the river again?
It is called Balloon Biff. You know, I'm not
Ballenbaith?
Balloon Babe. There it is.
Ballenbaith.
I'm
Okay. So, after we go to Ballenbaith, we should be able to get a cart and have that. That, I believe, would make the travel much easier. Are we in agreement of this?
Yes.
sure. Well,
Um,
we probably should leave now. I don't feel like there's any, you know, waiting around. We probably should get going.
well, I am woefully unprepared for travel.
That was your problem if you're woefully unprepared.
Well, while I understand that position, it seems as though we are all kind of in this together. Unless you would like to take Eliza to the city by yourself, at which point in time, I'm not quite sure where that leaves my contractual obligation.
I can probably find us a cart, and I'm also good at driving, so that I can handle that side of things.
Great. I'm not great at driving, so I guess you guys are good for something. What do we do? I mean, if we're woefully unprepared for stuff, like,
Well, I imagine that we'll need food of some form.
Allow me to ease some of this. Again, you guys are at wealth level 1. That means you're not wealthy, but you can afford basic rations and things like that. You just have to pick them up. And considering the sun was setting when you left the funeral, it took you time to travel to the academy, and then this whole conversation's happening. It is nighttime.
that's nighttime. Great. So,
Okay.
So we leave in the morning. We find lodging for the night.
That sounds good to me. I can do my best to try to find the things that we need for this trip before we leave. Is that good? Is everybody okay with me taking the role of provisioner? Okay, fantastic. Then it's set. I will gather our provisions, and then we'll meet back here. Clock strike past sunup.
That sounds good.
All right.
I'll be out front.
Fantastic. Then I will see you all then.
What is everyone doing in that evening?
I'm assuming that I'm staying at the academy as well. Is that a fair
Probably.
assumption?
Probably. I'm not
Okay.
worried about where exactly y'all are staying. If you want to figure that out, that actually could lead to some interesting things.
Yeah,
You know?
like
Well,
I'm imagining. I'm sorry.
no. Someone needs to get a boat, and someone needs to get the supplies. So I am assuming that is up to you guys. I know one of you.
I leave to go get the supplies.
Okay, so who's getting the boat for tomorrow?
I was assuming it was Coraline or Caroline.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can get the boat.
Cool. I'm gonna go find the nearest tavern, and I'll just fall asleep there.
Fall asleep, or are you going to do anything else before you fall asleep?
No, I'm gonna drink myself to sleep. Is what's gonna happen.
Oh,
I
you're
might
having...
get into a fight. Who knows?
That was not what I was expecting, but okay.
Taryn returns home to his lovely wife Celine, and they spend an evening, and he tells her of the plan.
You have a wife?
Taryn does.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Would have been nice to know.
Improv. Roll. I just kind of was mentally like, what if this thing? What if this thing? We
Roll with it. I
talked
love it.
about.
I love it. This is perfect.
Oh, must be nice.
We needed something hopeful because he was such a depressing character, which y'all will get to know of more. But he needed some levity. But yeah,
Yeah.
Must be
got-
nice.
No, it's great. I love it. Oh man, this group.
okay.
Anyway,
He returns home to his wife Celine and details the plan. She prepares him and kind of settles his nerves about whatever has been eating him up. Yeah, I don't know. Long day.
okay. Jason, could you roll for me? Oh, can you still see your character sheet, first of all?
I can.
Okay. Could you roll for me at contacts?
I already did. I am one
Oh, you
step
did?
ahead of you.
Oh, look at
Yes.
you. Right. You're able to, even though it's late at night, you're able to find a couple of, we'll say, night owls who run various supply and provisioning stores, usually for other businesses. But in this instance, they also won't turn down your money. So it's like, all right, you are able to find actually a really good boat. You won't be driving it because it is a ferry, but you find one that is on that's going an express route, air quotes express route, and they don't have any cargo. So that won't be bogging you down. Even though lots of cargo doesn't really slow down a ship, but it can slow down a ship if it like weighs it down and it drags along the bottom at shallow areas. Anyway, night falls with a loud boom. Not really. Night falls, the dawn breaks. Each of you get up in your respective homes and go to the academy where Eliza, wearing more suitable traveling clothes, is standing with a kind of a duffel bag like equivalent thing. But it's very obvious that she's packed light. And she
Karen
is.
wakes up in a cold sweat. Bad dream. Just yes. Sorry.
And she waits for you patiently.
I wake up, put on. I feel like it works for Jason to just put on his regular clothes, the clothes that he would wear to like school or something, because he didn't think that part through terribly well. Grab a giant bag of books and paper, or books, papers, stuff like that, and then have a very small pouch of other clothes, and that's what he's traveling with.
Taryn wakes up before the sun rises in a cold sweat, fighting and wrestling with demons and whatnot from his past, and wakes up in a cold sweat, goes on a walk, and just, kind of in his own head a little bit. But he's up earlier, walking around the city.
And you make your way over to the academy at the right time?
I'm already there.
Okay.
Before everybody.
And Antheon has a bit of a hangover, didn't actually get to sleep much, got involved in the weird kind of poker game, and sleep's not really Antheon's thing. And so he's heading to the academy, begrudgingly, regretting everything. It's too early for this.
Meanwhile, Coraline is sitting there smiling like a wonderful person and just like fully chipper. It's like, come on, guys.
Well, then I show everybody the stuff that I grabbed, the stuff that I was able to gather for our trek. I've never done this, but I have read books, and so this seems like it will be enough to last us for at least a little while. And since you two said that you have, you two gesturing to Antheon and Coraline, since you two said that you have some skill of staying alive in environments that are trying to kill you, I feel like we should be good.
Taryn kind of grins a little bit under his cloak.
Yeah, I said I had good survival. It doesn't mean I have good protection. So,
Well-
it's kind of on you if you die. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Well, don't worry, I've had
Well-
to protect.
Oh, well, that's good for you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you very
Torian
much.
thing to say. Okay.
Okay. Should we make our way to the docks?
Might as
And
well.
Taryn's already there.
Ready?
Already there. What?
Eliza says sure, and follows Coraline, who knows where she's going because she's the one who found the docks.
I'm kind of joking. He's already like making his way to it while y'all were talking.
Making your way downtown, walking fast. Anyway, you guys get off the boat, and it is a very nice boat. It's not like we're not talking like yacht, fancy, comfortable, but it's comfortable enough. You've got good hammocks. It seems to be free from bugs, and it's making good time. Thankfully, river travel is harder to raid, so your boat doesn't really get hit at all by bandits or anything like that. You guys are able to coast down the river very nice and easy. Each night, the boat keeps going. There are actually two ferrymen. One is a day shifter, the other's a night shifter. And so they just keep going through the night.
Nice.
Are you dying?
Can I talk?
Okay. Can you talk?
Can I talk with one of the ferrymen?
Which one are you talking to?
Say day shift.
Day shift.
No, night shift.
Night shift.
I have nocturnal habits. Yeah, night shift.
Hey,
I walk up to
Dan,
him
what
and
are
I
you
say-
doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was causing noise.
It is.
That's fine.
Yep. Night shift guy.
I walk up to the night shift guy and I say, "So, how do you enjoy being a ferryman?"
Kind of looks around, looks up at the sky. It's filled with stars. You might even actually, because there's no light pollution, you probably actually see a bit of the cloud of the galaxy. It's a bit purple. Looks out over the darkness of the trees. Hears the listening of the water and goes, "You know, I've had worse lives,
Worse lives.
worse jobs.
Interesting way to phrase that.
Eh. You think a lot when you're alone. Your mind tends to
can imagine.
wander."
I can imagine.
Taryn kind of kind of nods like in agreement a little bit.
What time is this?
And
Am I the only one awake, or?
I don't know. You're nocturnal.
So,
Like how diurnal / nocturnal are you right now? Are you trying to switch to a nocturnal schedule?
How long is this trip downriver going to take?
This trip downriver, because you found the good ship, that's going to shave 2 days. So it will take 7 days, just about a week.
Okay, I'm nocturnal during this trip.
Okay. So what time do you want it to be? Do you want it to be midnight?
Sure,
What?
we'll say midnight.
Okay.
Say. So, What type of trips do you generally take down on this boat? Where have you gone? Where do you go?
Up and down the river. We can go all the way to Dorentia in Renkland, but usually we end up stopping at Vacoma and going back and forth from Balumbaith to Vacoma. Usually we're doing, quote, fast deliveries, unquote. But sometimes we're able to get some other passengers. Got to admit, I don't have another
Interesting.
nighty usually.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry to disturb you if I am.
Nah. Just
So, do you ever encounter any trouble in this area?
like says, I mean, you might want to be aware of the devilfish.
Devilfish
The what?
in this river?
Yeah, nasty things. But as long as you arm, jump out, they really like throats.
Okay. I didn't realize that they were so active in this river.
How do you know what devilfish are?
He starts howling with laughter and slaps me on the arm and goes, "I'm just kidding, lad. There's nothing here at night. Calm down." Oh. Honestly, you scholar types are so easy to fool. But seriously, trouble is not unknown to these waters. But thanks to the nature of the river and the fact of how fast we go, most of the people who would cause trouble usually look at us and go, not worth it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I rolled scholarship too. Are devilfish an actual thing somewhere else?
Yes, somewhere.
Okay. Cool. Brilliant. Thank you.
What's your what scholarship did you roll?
I rolled
2.
two.
Okay.
It was 2.
So here's something that I will tell you. In the languages, like, okay, so we're speaking in English to communicate, right?
Mhm.
In world, you wouldn't be speaking English. We're using English to relay the ideas. In
Yeah.
certain translations of the particular dialect of Gauchal human, you can translate river to land water. You translate the ocean to chaos water. This is important because chaos is bad. The ocean is not particularly well liked, and so you most often find names for creatures that come from the ocean tend to have negative names. Devilfish are one of those.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
But yeah,
I am.
Mhm.
Is there like? So you said there is a connection between chaos and this ocean, and the ocean.
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
Linguistically speaking, they say yes. Partly though, okay, you know what? Yeah, chaos and ocean are generally connected, if for no other reason than because to the west, eventually you hit water and you hit the
Right.
ocean, and that is from where chaos came. Chaos came from the west, so a lot of
Okay.
people associate
Because
chaos with the ocean.
as Jason is talking to them, you kind of, I'm envisioning Taryn just sort of lost in thought, staring at the water, kind of nervously shifting away from it, and he's fighting the urge to just run the other direction away from it. But yet he stays. He stays,
Yeah.
but there's just a lot of inner like, want to get away from that.
So you're just generally not sleeping because you don't like water because of that
I
connection.
don't love the ocean. Don't love that.
But yeah, the rivers are land water, so there's less of that connection there. Lakes
a
are
little bit, yes.
yeah. Lakes are sometimes called mini oceans.
Yeah,
But sometimes they are
tiny
sometimes
chaos.
tiny chaos. Well, tiny
Okay.
chaos water, because remember it's
Tiny
chaos water specifically.
Okay.
Oh,
I say I thank the man. Did I get his name?
Philemon.
Philemon.
Philemon?
Yep.
Okay. I say thank you, Philemon. Thank you for taking us downriver. It's
Mm.
much appreciated.
Nods and says,
And I walk over to Taryn after I say that.
He is crouched down, and he's just kind of wading a hand through the lake, almost as if he's just kind of caressing the face of the water, just playing almost with it.
And
Hello.
He picks out a stone. I'm sorry.
you're good. I was saying Antheon kind of is sitting by himself. He's kind of in a corner. He doesn't trust anyone, so he's watching everyone skeptically.
I go up to Taryn and I say, "Hello, Taryn.
Hello? He doesn't look up from the water.
Do you mind if I ask what you're doing?"
I do, but I'll answer. Me in the water, don't.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I can leave and stare at the stars.
I found not wanting to and needing to two different things. Not wanting to. No, you're fine. He kind of just stops himself and says, "No, you're fine. Me in the water, don't get along. Not well, at least." He looks at his hands and sees the water trickling down. And you see him kind of shake his head, close his eyes, shake his head, and it's fine. Maybe later. Maybe later.
Very well. Very well.
And he walks past you kind of awkwardly.
Okay.
I think to myself, this is going to be a very odd adventure. I lay
Very
down on the
good.
boat, stare up at the stars.